Well, I'm going on, or trying to go on, just a few seconds early this morning, just to make sure that my technology is working today. I hope it is. It looks like it is. What I had to do was make sure I loaded up my web browser, or I changed it, at least for these broadcasts, to Firefox. For some reason, even my Chrome beta didn't work. So anyway, I'm back. I missed you. Uh, Truthfully, my whole day was just completely turned upside down because I guess I've gotten really used to doing these things. But anyway, we are continuing our read through of the Chicken Qabalah of Rabbi Lamed ben Clifford, and we're on the uh, chapter 8 on spirit evocation and the tree of life. So we had just read through a series of essays from the original prehistoric students of the Zerubbabel Institute of Philosophical Youth, who sort of showed us the progression of the logic that went into uh, developing the idea of the 10 sephiroth and the 22 paths of the tree of life. And we're continuing with the rabbi's essay here. This is Spirit Evocation, edited from the transcription and notes of tape-recorded presentations of Rabbi Lamed ben Clifford. And there's illustrations and such today, so that's why I set up a tree of life here for this morning's thing, so I can point at stuff. Okay. Yeah. I'm sure you all agree with me that the essays by your ancient classmates are truly remarkable and provide great insight into the logical progressions and concepts that went into the creation of the tree of life. I'm confident that you are all saying to yourselves, "Why, I would have thought of that if I had nothing to do all day but think about stuff." However, there are many important and practical aspects of the tree that were not covered in these documents by the first Zippyites. And so it falls to me to fill in some of the gaps. Before I go on, however, I want you to never lose sight of the fact that when we talk about the sephiroth, we are talking about levels of consciousness. And when I use the term pure light of Kether, I'm not talking about some big flashlight in the cosmos. I'm talking about the pure, omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, the whole damn ball of wax consciousness of deity. Keeping that in mind, we must remember that even before we toyed with the idea of the tree of life, we pondered three kinds of wonderful nothing: Ein Sof, and Ein Sof Or. That, like some huge and tiny cosmic egg, somehow managed to bring one, or Kether, the crown, the self-deity, into existence. The rest of the sephiroth on the tree of life are merely aspects of this one, and they appear to degenerate in purity as they descend the tree, but in actuality this is illusion. And there is a picture of the Ein Sof Or concentrating into the singularity or Kether. The light of Kether is one. Remember, that's what we're talking about. It is pure consciousness. Its radiance never diminishes. The 9 sephiroth beneath it simply separates and filter the light. This trickled-down consciousness, not some mythological fruit-eating incident, is the real fall of man. In Figure 28, we see this process of degeneration projected upon the tree of life and colorfully personified somewhat like a cosmic dysfunctional family. 1. Kether, the crown, the self of deity. 2. Hokmah, wisdom, the cosmic father. Binah, understanding, the cosmic mother. 4 is Hesed, mercy, the expression of father, paternal, organized, authoritative. 5. Geburah, strength, the expressed mother, active, ferocious, yet nourishing. 6. Tifereth, beauty, the sun. S-U-N and S-O-N. Who is the end result of all of these things. 7 is Netzach, the degraded mother or animal emotion. 8 is Hod, splendor, the degraded father or animal reason. 9, Yesod, foundation, the degraded sun or animal life. There's the sun, the degraded sun. And 10, Malkuth, the kingdom, the degraded daughter, the condition of the soul of the unenlightened humanity. Kabbalists further dissect the universe of consciousness by organizing everything into 4 categories, or 4 trees of life. Each tree corresponds to one of the 4 letters of the great divine name Yod-He Vav-He, the 4 Kabbalistic worlds, and the 4 parts of the soul. Remember that these are levels of consciousness and not places or heavens located somewhere out in space. If you're waiting to die so you can go to one of these higher planes, you might be very disappointed. Death may not be what you think it is. And there's no reason to believe that you'll be any smarter than you were when you were alive. Make an effort to attain illumination while you still have a 4-part soul. The divine pecking order is the corporate flow chart of the universe and of you and me. The 10 segments of deity in Atzilith rule the 10 archangels in Bria, who rule the 10 groups of angels in Yetzirah, who rule the various spirits down here in the material plane of Asaya. It's easy to see who rules whom if we imagine 4 trees of life placed one over the other. Like that. Trying to get that, see? And you can also imagine them laying on their backs and superimposing themselves in layers or strata like that. Spirits are the spirits are the agents who actually do all the heavy lifting on the material plane. You may think you disagree with me on this. You could point out that natural forces, people, machines seem to be the instruments that push things around down here. But in truth, it's a spiritual hierarchy that's the executor of everything that gets done in the phenomenal universe. For example, I'm standing here at the podium at the head of the classroom. I am thirsty, and I would like a drink of water. I ask a student if he would be kind enough to bring me a glass of water. The student kindly gets up, goes to the water cooler at the back of the classroom, draws me a glass of water, and delivers it to me. This simple scenario doesn't seem very magical, does it? However, from my point of view, it was a miraculously successful conjuration. By strength of my will, and with only a few well-chosen magical words of enchantment, I set into obedient motion an entire hierarchy of spiritual beings. I, Rabbi Lamed ben Clifford, the deity, had a need for which I named as thirst. Divine name of the desired, I had a need which I defined and named as thirst. So that's the divine name of a desire formulated by the deity in Atzilith. Activating my unambiguous spiritual authority as your teacher, I declare the divine name. The declaration is vibrations of sound declaring my thirst. And inspire an archangel, a student in Braya, to fulfill my desire. The archangel then activates an army of angels within himself in the Yetzirah, angels of the eye to seek out and locate the water cooler, angels of nerves and muscles and equilibrium to propel him through space and around obstacles until he reaches his goal. At the water cooler, the angel then employs the intelligences and spirits of gravity and hydrodynamics to fill the glass with water in Asiya. The process is then reversed until the archangel delivers the water to me, thereby fulfilling the will of the deity. Now, this may not be what you think of when you think of magic, but I assure you it is magic. In fact, most of the spiritual activity that took place in the above scenario actually occurred on the invisible plane. No one could see my words of enchantment. No one could see the internal processes that inspired and propelled the student to the water cooler, or the invisible force of gravity. For all intents and purposes, I wanted a drink of water, and only seconds after focusing my will upon that desire, a glass of water traveled through space and appeared in my hands. Since spirits do all that dirty work of creation, Kabbalistic magicians theorize that it's only logical that they should be compelled to work for us. After all, these guys are easily bamboozled. They go where they're pointed and do what they're told. They're accustomed to following orders from higher intelligences. However, in magic, it's not what you know, but who you are that counts. And before you can proceed to bamboozle a spirit into believing you're a higher intelligence, you must first bamboozle yourself into believing you are a higher intelligence. If I want to enchant Tina, the girl next door, to fall in love with me, it doesn't matter that I know that Jehovah Tsabaoth is the aspect of deity served by Hanael, who governs Anael of the Elohim, who commands Hagael, by whom Kedemel is compelled. I must first perfectly realize that somewhere in my own complex spiritual composition is a perfect working model of Jehovah Tsabaoth, Hanael, Elohim, Anael of the Elohim, Hagael, and Kedemel. I must be able to actually identify with the top guy in my own organization, and from that position of authority, beseech the archangel to help me conjure the angel, that I may order the intelligence in his name, so that the spirit will listen to me when I command it to do my bidding. Now, does this mean that you'll have to study and master all these tongue-twisting God names and archangels and angels? Let's face it, who mean nothing to you. Does this mean that you will then have to labor to somehow integrate this mountain of memorized data into your subjective consciousness? Hell no, you're a chicken Kabbalist. Don't worry about it. The essence of this wonderful organization is already integrated into your spiritual matrix. It, and the infinite number of other ways of looking at creation, came as standard equipment when you were born as a human being. You can, of course, memorize all the goodies if you want to, and I'm sure there will be some of you who will want to. But I want you to know that it is not essential to do so. It is only necessary that you program your spiritual worldview with this image of an ordered hierarchy of consciousness. Eventually, your recognition of these Kabbalistic facts of life will enable you to effortlessly and naturally align and harmonize the various aspects of your consciousness with the Kabbalistic facts of life. Once this is achieved, and it will most likely happen without you realizing that it has happened, you will discover your place in the divine hierarchy and why only you can fulfill that position. I have prepared a flowchart that shows the classic hierarchy of the divine name, archangel, angel, and the angelic choir to which it belongs. And I posted it on Facebook just a few days ago. And the intelligence and spirit attributed to each sephira on the tree of life. You can use this information to construct complex rituals of formal evocation, such as those found in any number of magical texts. You can also design a simple house and garden variety spell, such as this ditty I wrote and recited at the appearance of Venus in the evening or morning sky. O Lord of hosts, Jehovah Tsabaoth, you know the dreams of fools. Thee I invoke to hear my oath in Noga, where Venus rules. O Hanael, great archangel, glory of God thou art. Send Anael, love's bold angel, to touch sweet Tina's heart. Come, Hagael, in Anael's name obey. Compel Kedemel to do my will. Tina, love me night and day. And that's the end of chapter 8. I know it was a little long, but we had to wait a whole day for it. I hope you continue to have a good day and be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. Bye, and thanks for being with me every morning.